There. That's it. That's him.
What's going on, people? Back to drop you another video. And this time I'm going to give you a video. I waited a minute because to give the respect to the man. I'm going to talk about Nelson Mandela. I'm going to tell you why the United States was hands off on him for a long period of time. And I know there's a lot of celebration going on, you know, celebrating his life and death. So I'm going to tell you the reason why the United States was hands off on Nelson Mandela until FW de Klerk released him, and why they didn't get involved in that situation. Now, Nelson Mandela, like I said, his death has been celebrated around the world as he was a world leader and a freedom fighter. But the United States that we live in, are they're hypocritical. Or I'll say we as the United States are hypocritical in celebrating his death. Because the United States didn't want to deal with Nelson Mandela at all. They didn't want to. They didn't want to deal with him. You know, the United States only got into the pressure of South Africa for equal rights because of the public pressure that was put on the United States by the citizens of the United States. And that was the only reason the United States got in. There may be some mineral rights or whatever, conducting business wise, but the main reason was the pressure the citizens put on the United States government to get involved for Mandela and for the fight against apartheid, which was working in the United States, which obviously y'all didn't want to fight for that, but y'all fight for another man. That's another video, but I digress. Let's go back in. You want to know the real reason why the United States really didn't waste their time with him till then? Because Nelson Mandela and the ANC were comrades of the Soviet Union, and they were the Soviet Union, the USSR, along with Cuba, was training the ANC in African outposts. This is a fact. This is something that's not deniable. This is something that can be proven and has been proven over and over. Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, where do you get your claim from? Use this little thing over there or right above the long empty thing called a search bar and look it up for yourself. Type in ANC or spell out African National Congress, or put ANC, USSR, put Nelson Mandela in the USSR, and go ahead. They were training in friendly African countries how to fight against the apartheid. Matter of fact, I saw a movie from South Africa about how this childhood star, and a lot of people in South Africa don't know who I'm talking about. I'm really forgetting his name, but there's this childhood star. He was a star along with another white. He was wearing a soap down there. He was a black kid, and he was a star in a movie with a white family. It's almost like a different strokes, I guess. But what happened was, as he grown up, he couldn't get any work. So then he was hitting the streets of Joburg, and he found out what it was real. But along this time, his buddy convinced him, or he ran out of fear, to go train with him. Well, he didn't know the training. I guess the training was a military type training, and that's what it was. It was a training by the Russians and the Cubans to train the ANC to fight against the resistance or the apartheid movement. Now, it was a pretty decent movie. I forget the name. People in South Africa know who it is because a friend of mine sent it to me, so I saw it. But they were training African outposts. And here's the quote from the movie. If anybody's in South Africa, you saw this movie, you know what I'm talking about when I say this quote. The quote that was put in the movie was, when they were training, they said the African has the least amount of discipline in the whole world. Chew on that for a minute. This was a quote in the movie, and this is what made it so memorable to me. It said the African has the least amount of discipline in the world, and that's why we get treated the way we get treated. Now that was real. That was undeniable. That was real. That was said. And then, like I said, if people in South Africa saw that movie, you know what I'm talking about. You know, they received military, like from the Russians. Soviet Union gave them military. They gave them all logisticals. They gave them training. They gave them the whole nine. You know, Mandela accomplished a lot. He accomplished a lot in learning from the Soviet Union. Now, before you start jumping up and down about what he's done, at the same time, nowadays Mandela would be considered a terrorist by the United States, who celebrated his. See, it's always freedom fighting when it's convenient for us. But if Mandela was today and he was doing the stuff today, he would be considered a terrorist. So the United States is playing PC again. As we all know, they do foreign. Hell, they do it in the home. So they're going to go outside the home and play foreign PC politics, man. It's widely reported and documented, like I said in that British movie, that Mandela was on there was another movie. It's called Charlie. My British folks, thanks for sending me that movie, by the way. There's a movie called Charlie. It's about Charlie Richardson. If you don't know him, look him up. There's a search bar right there. Look up. His name's Charlie Richardson. He's from the UK, went to South Africa, and the government of South Africa wanted him to. The ANC had an office in London, and so when they wanted the ANC, Charlie was so powerful at the time, was Charlie Richardson and the Craze. Look up what I'm talking about. And they wanted Charlie to spy on the ANC, put their bugs in the ANC's London office, and he wouldn't do it. And then it came around that Winnie Mandela, Nelson's wife, was on the payroll of the ANC. I'm not the ANC, my fault, of the South African government. Look up in this movie. If you don't believe me, Google the movie up. It's real shit here. Winnie Mandela was on the payroll. Yes, I know about her and that little 14-year-old boy who was murdered. Well, because he was supposedly he was an informant. Well, let me tell you, how does Winnie Mandela? Let me chew on this for a minute. How does Winnie Mandela get off on a murder charge with just probation? There's got to be some deeper shit to this. Like Winnie could have blew the top off on all the shit she was doing for the government. Wait, I mean, there's a reason why her and Nelson didn't stay together. And why do you need to deep think about this? Like, when she killed that kid, how do you get off of that? A little kid. How do you get off killing a 14-year-old and you don't get no time for that? You don't even get a fucking year. The only time you got was the time they held you when they arrested you. Where do they do that and you don't have some powerful fucking connections? And this is what a lot of people don't understand. No, she was on the payroll of the South African government, and I'm going to leave that at that. But overall, let me take it a step further. She was on the payroll of the South African government that oppressed the same people she was supposedly fighting for. Chew on that. You know, why do you think they got divorced? That's my opinion as far as divorce. I think he found out that she was getting that guap from the government. He was like, "What the fuck you doing?" So they went their separate ways. But like I said, Mandela will now be recognized as a political saint, with the keyword being political, as in political correctness. As I stated earlier, if he was in right now, he'd be labeled a terrorist. But now he's a freedom fighter, which I don't understand the difference. Like the people over in the Middle East in Israel are called terrorists. Technically, that's part of the land, so wouldn't they be considered freedom fighters? It all depends on your outlook and all depends on where the money's going. If the money's coming to you, they're a freedom fighter. If the money's going elsewhere, they're a terrorist. You know, but as soon as once he if he was recognized as a terrorist, we wouldn't be doing all these celebrations and stuff. But later, he came to the conclusion that all races must come together to work towards the benefits of the country, which he was good, but at the same time, there was no real improvement in South Africa. Truth be told, they stayed the same as they were. Blacks' dropout rate was like 30%. I saw and all that. So he's an enigma. I'll give him that. I can't call it. You know, I can't call him a bad guy. I can't call him a good. Well, he was good for the people apparently. So I can't call him a bad guy because I don't know what all was going on. Like if he killed kids, then he's a bad guy. But he's fighting for oppression. To get over oppression, to me, that's good. So it all depends on where you look coming from, you know. I guess I'm done with this video. And as always, hold on. I forget my saying. Finally, no, that ain't the saying. No, that ain't the saying. What's my saying? To beat them? No. What's my saying? But the ether beat? No, that's not my saying. What is it? And as always, no, that ain't my saying either. What is it? Oh yeah, as always, Mr. Warmack's in the building. Peace.
There. That's it. That's him.